Lori Turnbull, political analyst, joins us now. Hi, Lori. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
So there was no doubt about a strong mandate for Pierre Poilievre, but 87%, that's incredible for any leader. This is like Pierre Poilievre's party now. What do you think?
I think it was Pierre Poilievre's party anyway. And I think even when you look back to 2022, when he won the leadership in the first place, it was by 68%. And that was with 68% on the first vote, on the first ballot of everyone in the country who was a member of the Conservative Party who voted. And so I'm not surprised that this remains his party. He's clearly, got a hold on this. Nobody else is putting their hand up to challenge him or anything else. But I think for him, it's an important moment to be able to have that visibility. I think this, like a consistent message you can hear over the course of the last few days has been about unity, the emphasis that the party is united, the caucus is united. And so I think it's an important moment for him.
Okay, but this outcome also, Lori, as we know, is from the party faithful. If elections were to happen, say, today, do you think Pierre Poilievre has that momentum nationwide?
No, I think that he's shown for sure that he still has the momentum behind him in terms of his party. But this has been a challenge for Pierre Poilievre, is that he seems to have a ceiling in terms of how far and how broadly he can appeal to people. And so even though the party is so firmly behind him, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's got any stretch, any growth in terms of who he can appeal to. That said, he did a lot better in the election in April of 2025 than people thought. Everybody was thinking this was going to be a Liberal majority, even as the votes started to be counted, and then it wasn't. And so I think we're still in a very uncertain time where support for parties is still in flux. The NDP have not figured out how to show back up. And so we've got a lot of question marks.
Yeah, because I asked you that question. If you look at popularity between Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre, there is a huge gap between the two, and that's why there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Talking about his message, though, Lori, I mean, a lot was packed in that message in the address he gave. Issues that Canadians are dealing with day to day, as we heard, something we've heard from this leader in the past as well. But talk to me if you felt we heard something we haven't heard before from Pierre Poilievre, and how he plans to take things forward for the Conservative Party to make a change.
I didn't hear that, to be perfectly honest with you. I did not hear a channel change. I did not hear Pierre Poilievre showing up differently. I do think, in all honesty, that he gave the speech that he needed to give, that he gave the speech that people wanted to hear. I think he had a huge reaction from the crowd. You could hear people chanting Pierre and we want hope. And it was extremely inspired and energized. He did what he had to do. There's no question. But is he changing his tune? No. You can hear him tee up the same message about here is how the Liberals have misgoverned the place for the last 10 years, and here's how we're going to do better. But yet, even as he tries to make that pitch, he acknowledges that the Liberals have taken some of his policies under Mark Carney, and so it seems to me he's kind of playing the same playbook as much as he can from the Trudeau era, but adjusting somewhat from the fact that he's got a different opponent now.
Okay, last question about the challenges you think that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party is up against now that they start working towards an election.
I think question number one is we don't really know when the election is going to be. Sure. I think there's a scenario where Mark Carney, through by-elections, floor crossings, might actually be able to heave himself over that 172 threshold, in which case he's got a majority, which makes the next election probably farther down the road. Also, I think that even this year alone, when you look at what we have to go through in terms of trade negotiations, new partnerships, how to deal with Kuzma, what else President Trump might do or come up with, is there really going to be an appetite for an election or a new government? I doubt it. And so, throwing one more question mark on top of everything, I'm not sure the public has a stomach for that. Yeah. And so it puts a question around how long Poilievre will have to, what does his runway look like, and how does he manage that time in a way that kind of sets him up for victory?
Right. Lori Turnbull, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.